Classification of building and structures are defined in Part 3A, Volume 1 of the NCC Building Code. How the building or part of a building will be utilised will determine the classification under which it falls. There are 10 classifications of buildings in the code. Individual houses or a row of townhouses or units are Class 1 buildings. If the buildings are attached in a row, they must be separated by a fire-resistant wall. A Class 1 dwelling can even be a multi-level single residence home, again, as long as it's separated from other dwellings. When a building has 2 or more single occupancy units under the same roof, it is a Class 2 building. Class 1 also includes buildings of 300 square metres or less where 12 people or less live, such as a boarding house or hostel. Short-term and holiday accommodation also fall in this category. This type of residential dwelling would be classified as a Class 1B structure. Okay, now we have Class 3 buildings. A Class 3 building is a residential building or a guest house, the residential part of a hotel, motel, school. It can be accommodation for the aged or children or people with disabilities. It can also be a residential part of a healthcare building or the residential part of a detention centre. Class 4 is a residential dwelling above another class of building. That class can be 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9. It will be a single residence above that building or in that building. Class 5 is an office building used for professional or commercial purposes, but it excludes buildings of Class 6, 7, 8 or 9. Class 6 are buildings such as shops or anywhere where there's sales of goods, retail or supply of services, such as restaurants, etc. Class 7A would be a car park, and Class 7B would be a storage or warehouse sort of situation. Class 8 would be a laboratory building or a handicraft or process, production, assembling, altering, repairing, packing, finishing or cleaning of goods. Class 9 would be a healthcare building, that would be Class 9A. 9B would be an assembly building, such as a school or a cinema or a theatre. Class 9C would be an aged care building. The difference between 9A and 9C is that a healthcare building is a building where people require specific health care, whereas 9C, an aged care building, they may not have too much specific healthcare needs, but they may be an older person living in such as a retirement home, etc. Class 10 is a non-inhabitable building or structure, and it can fall into 3 categories. 10A is a non-habitable building, being a private garage, carport, shed or the like. Class 10B is a structure such as a fence or freestanding wall, a swimming pool, etc. Class 10C would be a private bushfire shelter.